I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible and avoid details that aren't needed or relevant. I can't promise anything, though, because I am just a little emotional right now and am not thinking all too clearly, unfortunately. Sharing this with someone will act as a form of therapy, or so I hope. What do I do now? About a week or so ago, I accidentally signed into the Yahoo account that belongs to my wife. She didn't sign out. It was a pure accident. I wanted to check my Yahoo for client emails, and when I realized I was in her account, I caved to my natural curiosity. There were a significant number of emails that seemed personal from their subject lines, and I decided to explore it. I read about 30 different emails and forwarded them to my email for safekeeping. I went and took a cold shower to try and collect my thoughts. The emails were responses from advertisements on Craigslist, Backpage, and from some adult friend finder type site. Further investigation revealed that the advertisements in question were for NSA encounters with men during the hours she was at work. Judging by the dates, this whole thing started back in December of 2011. However, it remains possible that it started earlier than that. The exact details in her advertisements remains irrelevant to this discussion, but suffice to say she proclaimed a pure unsatisfaction with our intimate life and needed good sex. I guess this one hurts me the most because I have always advocated open discussion about our sexual desires and sexual needs. Open discussion about this topic leads to a healthy relationship, or so I honestly thought. I never knew she had these desires, and she never shared any of it with me. If only I had known then, perhaps I could have explored them and given her what she needed and what she wanted. I decided to confront her about this. What other option did I have? So I made the decision while taking a cold shower to confront her. I printed off the emails and set them aside in preparation. Somewhere along the line, I decided to look at her cellular. I just wanted to be sure. I wanted to be wrong. I had to know for sure before I did anything. About 2 hours after I made this discovery, she arrived home from work. As per her usual routine, she decided to take a shower. I never suspected anything about her after work showers until now, and found myself wondering why she insisted on taking a shower whenever she got home before doing anything else. Was she trying to wash away any evidence of a recent encounter that day? Or was this perhaps an innocent action by a working woman who felt dirty after a long day at work? Off to the shower she goes. I hear the water go on and the telltale signs that she's bathing. I literally dart across the living room to her purse and begin digging. The first thing I find is a small package of lifestyle condoms. This is not a good sign because we have never used protection together. The gears in my head are in overdrive, and I can feel dread building within me as I discover her cellular. It's an Android, of course, and I access the gallery. Time stopped for me in that instant. Photos. Naked photos of my dear wife. I didn't take these photos. She took them herself. I had never seen them. I luckily had my laptop out and copied the photos over to my computer for safekeeping. It's in my nature to preserve evidence, leverage, and ammunition when entering unknown and obviously dangerous territory. I then decided to read some of her text messages. I saw no evidence that any of these photos had been sent, but I did see one solitary text message that left me broken inside. It read in part, "Thank you for the other day. You're a wild one. We should meet again." But she had not replied to it yet. The date stamp was 3 days old. My day had been shattered, my heart broken, and I was about to venture into hell. The evidence was there, staring me in the face, and I had only one thing left to do: to confront my wife with the evidence I had collected and watch my entire life disintegrate around me. I collected the papers I printed earlier, her cellular, and my laptop, and took a seat at the kitchen table. I heard the shower go off and knew that within 5 minutes my lifestyle would officially come to an end. I poured myself a scotch and waited for her to emerge. I don't drink but once in a great moon, and only when I am deeply troubled. She knows this, so when she emerged, she knew something was on my mind. She came over, gave me a kiss, while she wrapped her arms around me and asked what was on my mind. I asked her to have a seat and told her we needed to talk. I think she knew what was coming, because the color drained from her face as she sat down. Her posture was that of a scared animal trying to remain calm and collected. She inquired further. The time was at hand. The moment was now. I didn't say a single word at first. I just slid the emails across the table to her and studied her reaction. At first, she didn't say anything. She just looked distantly towards the floor. I turned my laptop around and showed her the images I had downloaded from her cellular. She closed the laptop after seeing the first two and started to cry. I wanted to hold her and tell her it would be all right. I wanted to be close to her. I needed to stay the course. I took another drink from my scotch and looked directly at her. Neither of us said anything for a good 10 minutes until she finally broke the silence. The subject of our discussion I am sure you already know. I confirmed that my wife was indeed cheating on me, and that she had slept with 4 different men in the last 2 months. The most recent was last week and happened about 3 hours before I came home from a quick trip to California. It happened in our home and on our marital bed to make the situation worse. That same night, her and I made love. I also confirmed that she performed oral sex on these men. So now the knowledge that another man's cock was in my wife's mouth 3 hours before my tongue was in her mouth has me somewhat creeped the hell out. She did mention that she has never had unprotected vaginal sex with these men, so at least there's that little tidbit of good news, but I find myself questioning the legitimacy of her answers. She professed her remorse over it and doesn't want this to end our marriage. She professed her unyielding love for me, her desire to be with me for all eternity, and how we could and should make beautiful children together. She seems to be legitimately regretful for her actions, and genuinely frightened of losing me. She said that she is willing to sacrifice anything she needs to in order to save our marriage and repair the damage she has done. She took the initiative in front of me and deleted the photos from her cellular. She called the men she had been with on speakerphone and told them never to contact her again. And she openly showed me the Craigslist advertisements and deleted them. She went on to suggest that we pack up and move somewhere quiet and somewhere private, somewhere away from the city. A small town, perhaps, where we can work on our difficulties together without interference. So what do I do now? Do I keep her and see if we can work through this? Do I let her go and move on to new and better things? Where do I go from here? What do I do now? We have been together for 7 years, married for 5 of those 7 years, and have a lot of history together. I'll be honest and admit that I probably don't know how to live without her. She is my world, my center. Perhaps it would help you, Reddit, if you knew a little more about me. I am 29 years old and my wife is 27. She works at the airport and I am a web developer, self-employed freelance. I have never been good with women overall. Hell, I had only had sex twice in my life prior to meeting my wife. I'm of the shy type and find it difficult to approach women openly. I've always been selective of my intimate partners, and I like having an emotional connection prior to intimate relations. This is part of the reason I had not been laid extensively prior to meeting my wife. I find myself sitting here, writing this, and wondering if I would ever find another woman to share my life with. Am I one of these people who are destined to be alone and to be hurt? I mentioned a little bit ago that I had only been laid twice in the years leading to my marriage. Did I mention those girls also cheated on me? It seems to be a recurring theme in my life, my faith in the opposite sex. The ability to trust the opposite sex is at an all-time low.